Hello everyone and welcome back to Star Wars The Force Unleashed on Steam. I am Manuel Sheep yet again, and ladies and gentlemen, now it is time to start taking on the 3 DLC campaigns that we can also access through the Ultimate Sith Edition. Now if you don't have the Ultimate Sith Edition, these campaigns you will need to pay for, but fortunately I have the Sith Edition so I don't need to pay for these things, and they're all essentially what-if stories. Well, 2 of them are what-if scenarios anyway. The third one's actually something that I think should have been in the final game, but I'll talk about the third one when I get to it. Basically, you have the Hoth DLC, and you have the Tatooine DLC. Now, these basically extend the story past the bad ending of the game. You know, what happened in the previous part when we took down Darth Vader, and suddenly, oh no, we're now working for the Emperor. Oh, the nose. So, basically, these are what-if scenarios of what if the Empire won, you know, during episode 4, 5, and 6. You know, it's different. It's a unique little take on things. I like it. I really do like this. But anyway, Wrath of the Empire. It is a dark time for the rebellion, and all that good stuff. Honestly though, these DLC missions, they are a good deal harder than the majority of the main storyline. I always tend to have a bit of issues really getting into these. I don't know why. I think the level design just isn't quite up. It's not as at the same standard, and the level design standard wasn't the best to begin with, but I just don't find this so much fun to play as the main game. I don't know why. I like the idea of it though, you know, the idea of being a Sith assassin, working for the Empire, but I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna stop talking right now, so it's time to enter Hoth as the Sith assassin Starkiller. Right. And there we go, it's time to infiltrate the Echo base. So now that we're Starkiller in the Darth form, as Vader used to be, basically nothing's changed. The Darth version of Starkiller is essentially the same as normal Garen, the normal main character we're playing as at this point. They don't really change the game mechanics, which I think is a surprisingly wasted opportunity. They could have probably swapped out the mechanics so you played a lot more like Darth Vader, but I don't know. Anyway, one of the new unique touches about this DLC is our lightning attacks. As you'll tell by the fact whenever I throw lightning, it's a lot darker and a lot more evil. You know, we're a lot more evil than we used to be. We just don't care anymore. We sort of lost everything in the previous, well, when we got transformed into this form. So yeah. But to talk about this mission quite a bit, like I said, I really like the idea of this mission. Us infiltrating the base and just... it's such a good time. Now, one of the things by here you need to watch out for are these columns. I think they fall after a short amount of time. So what you want to do is go as quick as you can across these little platforms. It's not that big a deal, but I found myself dying once or twice when I did my initial run through of this game when this DLC first came out. But one thing I should probably address right now, folks, because I know people are going to be complaining. I'm actually doing these DLCs in backwards order. What you're meant to do them in the order that they don't appear in on the menu. So I'm doing the Hoth DLC first. This DLC is what's meant to be the last one you do. Why am I doing it first then, you might ask? Well, it's simple. I'm too lazy to edit the files in the right order. So it's all extra content anyway, so I figured it's not much. It doesn't really matter. Because you're meant to actually do the Jedi Temple DLC first, because from what I gather, that was actually... I don't know whether it's content that's taken out of the main game, but it is an extra mission based before, based midway through the storyline of the game. So either they took it out and decided to re-release it as DLC at a later time, or they just made it afterwards, and thinking, oh, there's a plot, or how did he learn about the Jedi ways? I don't know, maybe I'm probably thinking too much into this. Although these DLC missions have an even more bland soundtrack than the normal DLC missions, because the normal missions. Because basically the soundtrack in these DLC missions is essentially always going to be a variant of the main theme. Maybe with one or two soundtracks from the films. I don't know, for the most part I always found the soundtrack in these missions quite... But of course I found these missions in general quite but that's beside the point. Anyway, for this room by here we got loads of turrets. They're going to be shooting laser beams at us. So what you want to do is electrocute the turret and well you could also slice it to death. I recommend electrocuting them though, because the electricity does more damage. But you might realize there's a force field. Well, don't worry, this is an ice base, which means the plug is basically behind an ice wall. So blow up the ice wall, unplug the laser defense shield, and Bob's your uncle. Seriously, if they hid the plug for the energy shield on the other side of the energy shield, we'd be screwed. We wouldn't be able to get into the rebel base. So the whole reason we're managing to get into this base is because they're incompetent, and that bugs me. Anyway, our force powers are... our skills and whatnot aren't exactly the same as the main game. We do get a... we have the same skill set. We have the same moves available to us. But all our upgrades are slightly different. The game gives you a set upgraded version of Starkiller to use for these missions. You can upgrade him as well, but just by playing through the missions and leveling up this version. But honestly, there's no real point, because he's still pretty damn powerful, as you can tell by the fact I disintegrated that Yeti thing. Every time I see these Yeti things, I always think of Pokemon, because they remind me of Abomasnows, that type of Pokemon. I don't know if I'm alone with that, Abomasnows, but yeah, those Yetis, there's a whole lot more of them now than there was in the original movie, isn't it? Because in the movie, I believe there's only one Yeti, and there was that one that got his arm cut off by Luke, so... I'm surprised they made them a big enemy type in this mission, considering they just seem to be roaming free in the rebel base, which I don't remember them roaming free in the rebel base in the movies, but that's beside the point. Anyway, for this room by here, there's going to be an energy shield generator that's well, it's basically to the right of us. And one of the main gimmicks about this DLC is, well, this specific DLC, we need to jam these energy dynamo things with objects. So you pick up an object, you ram the object into the generator, and it explodes. The game tells you that you're meant to do this, but my first time playing, I wasn't listening to the subtitles, and I wasn't listening to what they were telling me, so I was stuck here for a good hour and a half, not realizing, oh, I need to pick up the thingy to throw it in the thingy. So yeah, all you need to do is pick up one of these blocks and just chuck it into the generator, and it'll essentially be a wrench in their operations, if you will. Get it? A wrench in their operation. But anyway, this DLC does like to throw a lot of enemy mooks that have lightsabers. No, they don't. Have sniper rifles onto you, and the sniper rifle mooks are just as annoying as ever, if not more so. In this particular mission, I always have issues not getting hit, because I keep calling them lightsaber. The sniper mooks, there's usually a good 5 or 6 of them in each area, and they always pellet you with laser, with their energy blasts. Now, they're easy enough to dodge whenever they are aiming for you, because obviously that cursor goes red when they're about to shoot, and you can use that as a way to just simply jump out of the way. but it can be a bit awkward, let's just say that. Anyway, what you can probably tell right now is the force abilities that we have, like the force push. They aren't very useful against these Yetis, are they? I mean, we can actually pick up the Yetis just fine, like you can pick up any other enemy by holding down RT if using the Xbox controller. But yeah, we can't push them. They're really hard to push. So our Hadouken moves will be pretty ineffective, I'm sad to say. Well, anyway, time to cool off. Let's just go down here. And I got stuck up there as well for the longest time. This DLC is really linear, but I've always had extreme, and I mean extreme trouble just figuring out where I'm meant to go when I'm doing this. I don't know why. Now that I'm watching it back, the level design is literally a hallway, just like the rest of the game practically was, and it works. I just don't understand how I managed to get lost on my first time running through this, because trust me folks, my first time running through this DLC, I was in it for a good 50 minutes. And the level's only half-hour long, by the way. Well, if that. Probably, yeah, about half-hour long, actually, because I split this mission up into 2 parts. So, yeah, it is more than possible to get lost and do stupid stuff like I'm doing right now. Like, right now I'm fiddling about wondering, what do I do? What do I do? What you're meant to do is actually grab the lift itself, and there we go. My brain clicked. Go past me. Fight the power. But anyway, you need to grab the lift and sort of rise it up above the ground, giving you an extra boost, allowing you to boost up to the 2nd tier and progress on with the level. Although one of the unique things about these DLC missions is oh, the shield generator's gone. It's primarily what happens at the end of them, because you might remember the likes of Obi-Wan and Luke Skywalker. They're in these DLCs, and I'm not going to spoil their exact roles, but let's just say Luke in particular. Well, actually, I say Luke in particular, but Obi-Wan is quite an interesting thing. Honestly, Obi-Wan's fight, I have a couple of things to rage about when I get to it, but that's not until the next DLC mission, I'm afraid. That's right, we fight them, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to spoil that part, so I'm just not going to spoil the nitty-gritty details of what happens, because I've got to keep some surprise for the people who haven't played this game before. Jesus Christ, I decimated him.
We meet at last, son of Vader.
You're wrong. My father was a Jedi. Vader murdered him.
So you have been told.
Alright, come on Mark Hamill, time to take you on. So, Mark Hamill, by here, Luke Skywalker, is not hard. I'm making it look harder than it actually is. Trust me, you can just wail on the guy and his health just really drops down like you wouldn't believe. And he does get harder later on, because this is a multi-phase boss in a way, because we have to take him on multiple times throughout the DLC, but honestly, whenever you can get an attack in, his health really just drains, and you can just use it to your advantage. Although he can use Force Lightning, I don't remember him being able to do that in the movies, or any of the games, other than this one, so that's quite interesting. But of course, making use of all your Force throws and whatnot, and look at his health, he's almost dead already, he's pretty pathetic. However, that is not it to this boss battle, because, like I said, multi-tiered boss. He's gonna run away, you know, like the Joker pussy that he is. Well, I say Joker. Joker's not really a pussy. Joker's more of a badass, so. If you wonder why I'm bringing up Joker, it's because Mark Hamill voiced Joker. So there, yeah, there's that. He also voiced Master Ericus in Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, but that's another thing entirely, so I'm not going to go into that. But yeah, one of the best ways to take out these abominable vampire ice creature snowmen, screw, I'm going to call them Obama Snows. The best way to take out these Obama Snows is to use your lightning attacks, as I'm demonstrating right now. Pushing them does nothing. So just shock them until they die, and the shock and turn events will be over, allowing us to progress on with the plot. As soon as I find the correct way to go. But ladies and gentlemen, that is actually it for this part. It's a pretty It's a pretty shortish DLC mission, and I can't remember how much it costs, but hey, it's pretty fun. So when we return next time, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be returning and catching up with Luke and taking him on and the rest of this mission, and the Rebels base will be no more. So thanks for watching, people. Hope you all enjoyed. Don't be sheepish, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!